up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us.
The drive-in theater
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Welcome, friends.
What is that?
Namaste. Namaste, dudes. We are here. It's Monday night. It is 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, wherever it is you're listening to this podcast. If you're listening in the future, if you're listening to the past somehow, you are tuned into the Drive-In Speakerbox, the best in film score. We don't do film scores anymore. That was like 10 years ago because we've been doing it that long, you guys. Sometimes I forget what year it is.
We do film scores now. We get cease and desists.
So you remember that one week where the grip was like, oh man, we better not play that because Sony don't play around. Sony don't take no shit. Sony's gonna shut this podcast. Sony's just be afraid of Sony. It's like, Sony can suck it. And I was like, play the clip. And then we played the clip for like 4 seconds, and later that night I got an email from Sony. And
like 10 minutes after the show.
Like 10 minutes after we uploaded, they were like, excuse me, we're Sony? And I was like, damn, Grip was correct. But anyway.
Their bots are always there.
They're super impressive.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about movies for the next hour and some change, probably about an hour and 20. So thanks for tuning in to the Drive-In Speakerbox. However it is you found us, if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube Live, we thank you. If you're watching to the old episodes, we thank you again. And if you're listening to the podcast over on Spotify or Google Music or Apple Podcasts or however it is you want to listen to it, we thank you. Tell your friends, spread the word, spread the love, because we've been doing this a really long time and we know what we're talking about. Whether or not you agree with this all the time, this is something that I'm gonna address in tonight's show after we review. If you see on the board, if you're looking at the video, we're going to be talking about Rambo Last Blood tonight. We both saw it. We haven't talked. We haven't talked to each other about it. That's what this podcast is for. And I've got some really interesting things that I want to talk about that have really nothing to do with Rambo Last Blood, but everything to do with it.
Does me getting really big eyes be like, dude, you see Rambo? Like that with like really big eyes? Does that count as us talking about it?
I mean, sort of.
Okay.
But as a film critic, I've been doing this somewhat semi-professionally. It started off as a hobby in high school, reviewing movies. And then I started the radio show, and then I've been doing this for a really long time, working in the film industry, professionally, and then continuing my love for film and reviewing film. And there's a lot of people out there writing reviews that just don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's like they're like interns that need to write articles, and it's like people are subscribing to this because it's like Variety, Huffington Post, New York Times. These are supposed to be places you trust. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. Trust me. Don't trust me. Trust no one.
You're
actually,
supposed to trust Huffington Post.
No, I mean, but people do. People do because money and stuff. So I don't know. It's terrible, and I forgot to turn the fan off. And I was like, man, I feel this cool breeze, but also hear this cool like sound, and I forgot about it. See, check it out. Oh yeah, there it is. There's that good silence. But we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But before we do that, let's talk about some news. We lost some talent over the past week, and some good talent, some good people. Who did we lose, Grip?
We lost one of our screen favorites, Aaron Eisenberg.
Aaron Eisenberg, if you don't know him, we've talked a lot about one of the shows that he starred in, a lot on the show, and he played the role of Nog in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Who was the focus of the recent Deep Space Nine documentary that was released as a Fathom event in the theaters, which we went and saw.
Yeah, the poster is like right up there if you can reach it, next to the, there it is. It probably got
something
stuff
on it. I can't get it.
Well, we've got it. It's there. We went and saw that premiere, the Fathom events thing. It was really, really good. But Aaron Eisenberg, 1969 to 2019, he was an actor and producer and really brought the character of Nog to life. And anybody that's a Trekkie or just a casual Star Trek fan or Deep Space Nine fan, if you've watched Deep Space Nine, you're a Deep Space Nine fan. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's just
you can't not be.
You can't.
Well, and Nog is that character that starts out as like just a background nobody type fill-in character, and then he becomes super rad, and he achieves his dreams, and he changes his stars.
It's one of the things that, I think what makes his character and that performance so really interesting to watch throughout that season. And I think what made Deep Space Nine so engaging to a lot of people is, unlike a lot of television series, you really get a full arc, like a full lifetime arc of a character when he's just like getting out of grade school. I mean, it's almost like anime almost. You see this person leaving school. He's like, well, I'm coloring books because I'm a child. And then he's like, I'm flying a starship. And you're like, oh my God, he has grown up. And, he had a war injury and he was a war hero. And like, you see that whole thing and you really cling to that character because you basically witness most of their life, and it's really well done. I think, Johnny Dalton says on YouTube, I would like to think Nog made Captain.
In the documentary.
Maybe he does.
Well, he didn't have the rank of captain, but he definitely captained ships.
Yeah,
I think he had active rank.
One of the first Ferengi to go to Starfleet. The first Ferengi.
How about that? Talk about it like it's real.
I know. I mean, hey, he did
right
it.
Here. Yeah.
It's real in our hearts. So pouring one out to Aaron Eisenberg, but also the horror community lost one of its greats, and Sid Haig, who a little bit older, obviously. He was born in 1939 and graced the screen about 1 trillion times.
Yeah, I was about to say not just horror, because his horror career really started in the 2000s, but he was a small screen superstar. Yeah, I mean,
was everywhere.
Think of a TV show that has any kind of cultural impact or relevance.
He was on it.
He was in it. He was
all over it. Mission Impossible, Get Smart, Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
He was in all of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Even in a couple of episodes of Star Trek.
Batman.
I mean, he was just, this dude
from 60s to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, and a lot of people now, and going back to one of
Charlie's Angels. Fantasy Island.
Yeah, he was everywhere. And kind of going back to reference some of the reasons why you should watch the Get Smart. You should watch or listen to the Drive-In Speakerbox. Is most people are going to be like,
that was a guy in House of a Thousand Corpses, Rob Zombie. I really like films. I saw Donnie Darko once. I'm a film expert.
And it's like, get out of here, you're stupid. But Sid Haig, of course, did get really famous from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, and he was also in Kill Bill. But
I think those were like his first
big
starring roles instead of being a
just kind of a guy,
character actor side guy. Yeah.
But he passed this week as well. So pouring one out for old Sid and Aaron. We appreciate your contributions to film and television. You will not be forgotten. Let's see. In the news, not a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about, but there is a Craft remake coming out, and they have announced their cast. I don't know if you remember The Craft. It was a 90s, sort of witchcraft.
I don't know if you remember The Craft.
I don't remember. I don't know if you had as huge of
very 90s
crush on what's her name? God, with the big teeth. She has a weird name. She was in the original Craft. I was like, I want to say like it was Marusa Falk or something. But hang on, I'm gonna unfortunately have to use the internet to.
I'm not about that. Like,
you're not about witchcraft
horror stuff,
dude. The Craft is not.
Man.
It's not horror.
You ever watch Death Becomes Her and then not want to watch any other movies about like
Wait, you got spooked?
Magic murder
you got
women.
spooked by Death Becomes Her?
Yeah. Are you talking about the chick that played?
Yeah, Fairuza Balk. Yeah, I was close. Yeah, I thought it was like Maruza Balk or Veruca Salt, which was also popular in the
Bobby
90s.
Boucher's girlfriend from The Waterboy.
Yeah, dude, Fairuza Balk. Like, what a hottie in the craft. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to mispronounce her name. Guys, I see everybody in the world on our comments is like, Fairuza Balk, you freaking dummy. But, yeah, she was in Return to Oz. She was, yeah, dude, she was...
She was in Waterboy.
It's like...
As Kathy Bates. Like,
it's
worst nightmare.
She was a good example in the craft where it's like goth is a really delicate look to pull off, because more often than not you're gonna look like really stupid if you pull off that goth look, but every so often there is a diamond in the rough that when they dress goth it's just like, oh, be still my beating heart.
Rewind a couple dozen episodes where you talk about like the events you used to DJ with people with the glow sticks and like the giant jinkos and like top hats and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that industrial vibe. But man, sometimes a goth is like a good look on people. So anyway, the craft, they're making a new craft, and
is it a TV show or a movie?
Who cares? But that reminds me of something I was following, and you've probably seen the memes that Carrie L's being very public in the news lately, because really rich and powerful people are like, oh, we need to remake Princess Bride because we haven't remade it yet. And the internet is like, no, don't mess with that. And Carrie L's statement was perfect, because he basically recited a line from the movie of like, something so perfect and beautiful, why would you damage it?
Did I send you that Twitter stream from him saying that and everyone else just coming in with movie lines for that to protect it?
Dude,
yeah, pretty good.
Protect Princess Bride. Like, that is a movie, and
oh no, see, no, As You Wish, can't do that.
You can't As You Wish a remake.
What if it's a six-fingered man that's trying to get this remade?
Prepare to die is what I say. And it reminds me of going to. We went to the drive-in this weekend, and it was the last weekend of our local drive-in, unfortunately, and they showed Goonies and Gremlins, and it was their only retro weekend they did all season, except for showing Beetlejuice after it the previous weekend. And one of the amazing things is a lot of people go,
well, you're just really nostalgic about those movies. It's not that they're good. You're just nostalgic. It's nostalgia.
And to them, I say this.
There was a lot of child laughter out there yesterday.
You heard it too. So that was what I was going to bring up. And I commented on it. I was like, listen, you can hear it from the cars behind us. You can hear these young people that have never seen this movie that are there just like having an amazing time with these movies. Like there's a trailer to Firefighters with John Cena, and there's like, look, I can fart, and look, here's a water hose, and now my pants are down. And it's like, that's
what trailer did you watch?
I watched
Look, kids, here's my bare bottom, I can fart, and look at
no,
this.
the kid
there's
farted.
A water hose, and look at this, my pants are down. You made it sound creepy, man.
Well, it was stupid. And it was completely stupid. And it's like, that's kids' movies now. Meanwhile, we're sitting here watching 2 rated PG films, Goonies and Gremlins. Everyone's having an amazing time. Everyone's watching it, except for Vince in the audience, who I think doesn't like Goonies because he's broken. And it's just, it's not nostalgia. It's quality. And I think people aren't willing to give things a chance because they're old. And if it's old, it means it's not very good.
Goonies is timeless.
Goonies is timeless. I mean, of course, there's some things that you're like, oh, well, you can see the wire or whatever. But that, if you're that guy, shut up.
Well, in Gremlins, it's just a movie set in the 80s, man. You guys like Stranger Things, right? Same thing. There it is.
Dude, Gremlins is an hour and 40-minute episode of Black Mirror, but better. Like,
and it's a Christmas movie.
And it's about a Christmas present gone bad. And I was talking to a friend. They're like, what's Gremlins? And I spit taked. I was like, I was like, you have to watch this around Christmas. It's legendary.
You know what? Vince said something about not remaking Princess Bride, Back to the Future, or Stand By Me. Actually, Back to the Future is fully protected from remakes.
The Zemeckis family.
Yeah, Zemeckis has it in his will that his family can never release the rights to alter or remake that film. So Back to the Future is fully protected from remakes, though he did sign off and help produce on a official sequel in the form of the Telltale video game Back to the Future, which is very good, and they go back to the extra far past where Doc is a teenager in Hill Valley, and it's actually super fun. I really like it a lot.
Whoa. That sounds good.
It is good.
I started playing it, but I played the Sam & Max Hit the Road and the Monkey Island Telltale games, and then after that, I was like, okay, I can't do another Telltale. And
Well, but see, you tried to play LucasArts.
yeah, and they were
Telltales.
good. They were good, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed them immensely. But I was just,
But it's not the same as like
I know.
LucasArts. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Marty,
it's good.
is there something wrong with gravity in your time? Anyway, so that's what's going on. Let me see if there's anything else I'd bookmarked that I wanted to kind of talk about in the news. I don't think there was, because we, what do we got going on in the comments section over
Johnny
here?
asking why the jocks, like, what was his name?
Troy?
Yeah,
and
why
the
was
Goonies?
Troy and his goobers hanging out above the wishing well at nighttime?
You know, the character of Troy in the Goonies, it's timeless. There's like bullies, and then there's, not fitting in, and
Maybe the wishing well's just the hot spot to hang out in Goonies Town.
you don't know, maybe it was on the way to the liquor store, or where.
Hey man, pull over by the wishing well. Let's talk about how you're gonna do sex to that girl. Yeah, bro. Let's stop and talk.
They didn't have the internet or cell phones or group chats or whatever. Maybe the wishing well was their group chat. Like, you
Hey
don't know.
Troy, your convertible Mustang is just too loud with the top down. Let's pull over so we can talk.
We can
as
talk
friends
about our
and bros.
feelings as bros.
Also, you probably should have showered after that toilet blew up on your beehole, dude.
Yeah, Troy who poops with his underwear on,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny. In other terrible news, I don't know if you guys read about this. Indiana Jones 5, David Cope, who was responsible for writing the script to Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, quite possibly one of the most forgettable and unforgivable films to ever be produced in the history of film making ever. He has now been given the reins of the script again. They ripped it out of his hands. It's
Script to what?
Indiana Jones 5. Yeah. They've been shopping it out. They've been passing it around. They've been passing it around like Troy's bucket, and then now it's back in the hands of David Cope, the guy who screwed it up in the first place. Like, why? Whoa. I mean, give it to Rian Johnson. He's already screwing up other Harrison Ford properties. Like,
Don't do that.
oh man, I just can't even believe. I can't even believe. It's not good, you guys. Why does this keep happening?
You know what? When you make a movie like The Last Crusade and it's perfect and it's the best,
Or Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom
Just let it
sucks.
fly.
We go over it, man, every time. Temple of Doom is full of turd sauce
Nah, man. Hang
in
on
the
a second.
form of monkey brains and peanut butter beetles.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna
Yeah.
dismantle this set.
Its image is the top one. Yeah, he's about to show you Harrison Ford on the bridge.
1001 movies you must see before you die, right? Okay, written by Stephen J. Snyder. And for the most part, I agree with Stephen J. Snyder. I've gone through the checklist, and I've checklist many a film in this book because I've seen way more of these than a human being should probably try and see.
I like how you instantly flip to the page with Brokeback on it.
Well, saw it. But here's the thing, is the cover of this book, Stephen J. Snyder is such a dipshit that he didn't realize that the movie he put on the literal cover of the film is not in the book.
Maybe he did. Maybe that's just a good iconic image of Indiana Jones that can be instantly recognized.
Nah, dude. Temple of Doom. That is from Temple of Doom.
I don't know if there's a better close-up of Harrison Ford that's not him in an undercover Nazi outfit, though.
Temple of Doom is good.
No. Besides Dan Aykroyd at the beginning, what's good about it? Exactly.
Everything. Runaway Mine Car, Molaram, I don't know, Monkey Brains, Snake Surprise. Let's see the No Time for Love, Dr. Jones. Oh God, I hate snakes. There's like the We Are Going to Die.
It's bad, dude.
Dude, everything about it is freaking.
Last Crusade is the one.
Name 3 good parts of Last Crusade.
Young Indiana Jones.
That's
Tank fight. Yeah, Sean Connery.
You're not selling me out.
No ticket.
You're not selling me out.
Whatever, dude.
Just selling Temple of Doom is the best. Anyway, all right. Let's move on. Indiana Jones 5 is going to be a pile of hot, steaming butt garbage.
What if it's good?
It's not going to be good. It's impossible for it to be good. The guy that's writing it wrote in the Crystal Skull, and that was
every odd numbered Indiana Jones is a good one.
This is not tarot cards here. This is like producing.
The first one is really good, and then Temple of Doom is
awesome.
meh, and then Last Crusade's the best one, and then 4 is not so good. So 5, following the pattern.
No, dude. I would rather read Time Life books series of like unexplainable mysteries again, which I actually own the entire book set. You remember those commercials? For my entire life, those commercials spooked me out, and they talk about aliens and crystal skulls and like all the kind of Indiana Jones shit that he'd go and adventure on, and like those commercials like boo, learn about alien butt rape and like all this kind of stuff that aliens do, and it would freak me out, right? And then as an adult, like I had these like really intense memories of that commercial for the Time Life book series of strange mysteries, and then I came across them at a yard sale once as a grown ass like adult, and I was like, there they are, and like no one has books anymore.
I don't know what that noise.
Oh my God, I was that excited, and I have the entire set, and it's one of my proudest purchases ever. The entire Time Life book set. It's so good.
I like how Vince said he needs to hide in a fridge to get away from the news of Indiana Jones.
I almost and it actually the set is next door. I think I'm gonna go run and get some of those books. Like I need to go get those books. They're so good. But I'll get one of those books before the show's over, and I'll show it to you. It's so cool. But before that, I wanted to talk about this. This is kind of really interesting. Just a little tidbit. Can you believe that Lost, ABC's Lost, is 15 years old this week? Changed television forever. I don't think you guys realize how much Lost changed television.
I never watched it. I never watched Heroes.
Season 1 of Heroes was really good. But Lost, cheers into changing television for better or for worse.
No, you know what?
I don't know.
Fuck Lost, man. You know why? Because it gave J.J. Abrams a platform to be able to come in and ruin everything.
Well, I mean, we allowed
They're
it.
like, whoa, Abrams, you did that show that everyone's like really hyped on, and Cheech Marin like guest starred on or something. That's dope. You want to ruin Star Wars? And he's like, can I ruin Star Trek first? And they're like, sure, dude, whatever you want to do.
We know you hate J.J. Abrams. We understand.
We hate J.J. Abrams.
You need medication for your J.J. Abrams rage. But Lost.
Unfunny Gilligans.
Okay, I will say that Lost did not stick the ending. Nothing. Rarely does anything stick the landing. But the first 3 seasons, man. I mean, it's like Lost changed the game. And shout outs to the 15th anniversary of completely changing how we watch television, pretty much forever.
Wow, Vince coming in saying Gilligan's Island wasn't funny. Forget you, man. I grew up with Gilligan's, and it was the best.
Yeah, I watched reruns of that when I get home from school. Like, what is it, TV Land, Nick TV Land? Is that still a thing?
Before that, yeah, it used to be Nick at Night would show all the old ones, but they used to show it in the daytime. I used to binge Gilligan's when it was the only thing on TV.
Oh, Gilligan's. Well, that's pretty much all the news I wanted to talk about. There's news about the House Party remake with the director of the Old Town Road video.
No.
Which I know, dude. I know, dude.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know what you gonna do.
How are you gonna have House Party without Kid and Play?
You can't.
And Martin Lawrence.
You can't.
And the girl that played the wife on My Wife and Kids.
Yeah, you can't. House Party's
What's
sacred.
her name?
House Party.
She's one of the two girls that they have the crush on. They do the dancing. They do like their dancing thing, and then Kid and Play does like the dancing.
Yeah, that everybody knows how to do. Like you
I wish I knew how to do it.
It's not a hard dance.
I know how it goes. Okay,
I bet our producer here could. Do you know how to do the Kid and Play dance?
Dude, but can you like slide under someone's
legs?
legs?
Turn your
and
mic
get
on
up
if you're
and,
gonna answer this. Like let's hear it.
I'm a bit rusty, but the '90s,
dude,
House Party, Kid and Play. I'm glad that it highlighted the, kind of the mixture of the New Jack Swing era of that.
New Jack Swing was awesome.
New Jack Swing, and then it started actually opening the doors to, or starting more of the fad dances that you see today. But the fad dances, as I like to call them, they actually had, in my humble opinion, legitimate steps that actually took. It was articulate steps. And they had a good time.
What you don't know about our producer here at the Speaker Labs is he is an avid and accomplished break dancer. I would.
I wouldn't say that.
He could do a handstand push-up. I've seen this dude.
That's just a push-up. That's not dancing.
I've seen you do it in a dance routine. And I can barely do a push-up, much less a dance handstand push-up. I can do a push pop. Like that's about what I can do.
More Mortal Kombat conversation. You really want to open up that can of worms?
No, not really. All right. So anyway, House Party remake. There you go.
Mortal Kombat doesn't have a breakdance character, but you know what? Who does?
Street Fighter.
Tekken and Street Fighter. Yeah, because you got Eddie Gordo with his capoeira, but then he has his
capoeira
alternate costume of what's his face with the afro and the disco outfit, so it's more breakdancey. And then you got DJ with his hands on his wiener inside of his pants.
That's the best cricket I'm going to be able to pull off right now. I think we have a cricket button. Do we have a cricket button? Fire the cricket button. There it is. The cricket button.
Dude, I don't know what the paraplegic widow dance move is, but...
in the comments. Yeah, Johnny Dalton's off on his own world right now over on YouTube. If you want to check out and get involved in the chat, you can over on our YouTube page, youtube.com/The Drive-In Speakerbox, or you could check out www.doodoopp.pizza. That'll take you right there to our YouTube, and you can join in. Or you can do Facebook Live. It all aggregates into the same chat at facebook.com/The Drive-In Speakerbox. You can check us out there. Get involved. You can be live every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can do it. So let's talk about movies that are coming out this week, because movies are coming out this week. And here, you start, Grip, because I've got to respond to this really quick.
So this week, coming out in theaters, there's actually one that the trailer for it looks pretty good, and I was astounded at how close the actor resembled and sounded like the person she is portraying, which would be Judy, the story of Judy Garland, played by Renee Zellweger, and it's about her going to London and trying to have her career and family at the same time, and you get to see why Liza Minnelli grew up to be so friggin' weird.
There you go. You talking about Judy?
Yeah.
Oh, Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, but have you seen the trailer for that?
I did.
She looks and sounds just like Judy Garland. Yeah. So that one looks pretty interesting if you're into that like true story kind of thing. And then way off the heels of the other cryptozoological based children's films comes Abominable. Way late to the game, following that one where Channing Tatum did the voice of the Yeti and Zach Galifianakis as the Sasquatch. but this time he has magical powers to make blueberries grow.
Ooh, blueberries! Oh, they're so amazing.
You know, if you want to watch a movie about a magical Yeti, I would say check out, what was that? Did you watch that movie?
Harry and the Hendersons?
No. The movie that we, did you see the last one from Leica Studios?
Yeah, the one with Zach Galifianakis.
Did you? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Anyway, I bet.
With, it had...
Sorry, I was responding to a work text, so my
it had
brain...
Hugh
got
Jackman
yeah.
and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah,
and,
that was good. That was a good one.
Who else? Zoe Saldana was in it.
Mm-hmm. I had a good time with that one. Those are the two big ones that are coming out. They're going to be coming out nationwide. There is a limited release film that I really want to see, and a foreign film that if we get it here in the States, I'm going to be amped about. But the limited release film that I kind of want to see with Anna Kendrick, Daniel Brooks, Dennis O'Hare, and Jim Gaffigan is from director Christopher Morris. It's called The Day Shall Come. Maybe you've seen the trailers. It's about an impoverished preacher who kind of brings hope to the Miami Project, offered cash to save his family from eviction, and he has no idea that his sponsor works for the FBI, who kind of try to turn him into a criminal by fueling these crazy revolutionary ideas. But it looks like a really interesting, very unique film that is able to deal with some social issues, kind of tongue-in-cheek, and looks like a really fun...
Does Anna Kendrick sing in it? Is she
I
part
hope
of the
not.
church choir?
I hope not. But that one's coming out in probably limited release. And then also coming out in limited release, First Love. I don't know if you've seen the trailer to this.
No, I just learned about it when I looked at this. Miike
Seriously?
Takashi. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes. So if you're Miike Takashi, if you speak Nihongeese, or Takashi Miike for everybody else, it is a young boxer and a call girl getting caught up in a drug smuggling scheme over the course of one night in Tokyo. Sounds like, whatever, it's a movie. But if you've never seen a Miike film... Whoa, dude!
Careful which one you start with.
Well, that's true because
because if you watch Ichi the Killer, you're gonna be like, what
just
frick
happened?
Am I watching?
Yeah, what just happened? You know, Miike films are not really for everyone, and definitely not for the faint of heart. But
one of the samurai or yakuza movies are probably going to be easier to start with, like the 13 Assassins remake.
Yeah, or I mean, and for those horror fans out there, Audition is a fabulous horror movie that came out in the 90s or late 90s, 1999. Just super good, super weird, super out there. Like here's the deal. The fact that we're sitting here going like, oh yeah, Audition and 13 Assassins and Ichi the Killer, like it's just yesterday. This is the reason you turn into the drive-in speaker box. We did not pre-research this. We didn't pull these up on Wikipedia and take notes and go, we better reference this on tonight's show because that'll make us sound really smart. No, we've watched these movies and
I wish I didn't watch Ichi the Killer, but I did.
Dude, Ichi the Killer is a movie to watch. Everyone needs to watch that.
No one needs to watch weird jerk off, blood, murder, muscle guy, Piercy boy, creepy stuff.
Everybody needs to watch blood, jerk off, creepy boy, Piercy guy. Like it's just a part of
whack.
it, man. It's a part of it. Yeah, dude. Takashi Miike, it's.
Oh, Fudo is another one that I just remembered. Careful with Fudo because I watched it and I was like, yo, Yankee Boy and Yakuza movie done by Miike Takashi. I'm like, this is going to be sick. It's going to be like blood and there's going to be Yakuza guys, but they're in high school, so they're like Yankees and it's going to be sick. No, it's weird. It's wrong. There's creepy stuff and wieners.
Yeah, dude. Or the Dead or Alive series that he did that has nothing to do with the video games. I mean, dude.
Did he do the
Chapter 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamonds Unbreakable? Yes!
No. Did he do oh crap. What's the Immortal, Blade of the Immortal?
Yes, he did. He did do Blade of the Immortal.
And then isn't there like a Gege no Kitaro live action? Did he do that one or no?
I don't know if he did that one or not.
But yeah, the Blade of the Immortal one.
I know he did that one because that just came out, 2 years ago? A couple years ago?
did it.
Yeah.
There's another one like that though that he kind of did where there's like a guy who can't die, and it's all weird. Miike movies are
Miike
just
movies.
careful what you're getting into. Is all I'm saying.
We give you a stern warning if you want to jump into the world of Miike. We've got Troy coming in here with a little JoJo reference. So shout outs to Troy tuning in on Facebook.
Warudo. I speak Japanese. I can't do it.
But anyway,
You can't do it without yelling. You can't be Dio. No.
if you had a stand, what would it be?
Dude,
What would your stand be?
I'm not like some JoJo freak. I can't tell you.
So you don't know what I'm talking about, even though I didn't. I just said, what stand would you have? I don't. I could have been talking about Stephen King. I could have been talking about Stand By Me.
Yeah,
or The Stand.
Do you
but
remember?
you knew I was talking about. You knew it was a JoJo reference.
That's because you remember 17 years ago when memes were a brand new thing, and I was involved in that, and I was on that cusp, on that cutting edge of memes becoming a real thing before they hit Facebook, and all of you normies found out about internet. Back then, when Dio throwing a steamroller on someone and going no was like a meme, one of the old ones. You remember way back in the long ago?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
well,
But he
there
didn't
you
have
go.
a stand back then. That was pre-stands.
See, you're the anime guy.
I'm just saying, you caught it. I think your stand would be
But I know
Star Trek.
memes. You know weeb stuff.
Okay. What's happening right now on One Piece?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, you couldn't. What is One Piece? I don't even know.
One Piece is a sick pirate cartoon about like adventure and friendship.
Okay, Google it, everyone at home.
You know what? Johnny said that he missed 3 from Hell. It didn't already come out, did it?
I don't think
Like super extra limited release? Because I know that last week
we talked about it.
there was a post by Elvira showing the premiere party or
It's not gotten an expanded release yet. I mean, it's probably not until October we're going to start seeing that start to pop up. I mean, it's like,
L.A., New York, private parties. Get those reviews out soon.
Oh, speaking of stuff like that, have you seen that Fathom Events is doing an early sneak preview of the new Jay and Silent Bob movie? And
No, I didn't see that.
All of their ad campaigns is $15. Little man, put that cash in my hand to watch Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah.
Speaking of Fathom Events, this week.
Oh, today. If you missed it yesterday, and if you're missing it right now, then Wednesday you have a final chance to watch Shawshank in the movie theater.
Yes.
If you want to watch Andy Dufresne.
Oh, Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne. I don't know how he managed to escape this prison, but boy, he set me up.
I can't do a good.
Yeah, I can't. No.
Our the old.
But the
one of our old
Kurgan is in that
co-hosts,
movie?
Yeah, he is. Andy Dufresne. Quite possibly one of the greatest movies. It's so good. It's
Dude,
up
I
there.
like Shawshank.
Shawshank's fantastic. If you've never seen it on the big screen, this week is the time to do it, and it is a fantastic film. It is timeless. It is really, really, really good. If you've never seen it, do yourself a favor. Check out Shawshank Redemption in theaters, Fathom Events this week. I think tomorrow and Wednesday are the last day to check it out.
I don't think there's a tomorrow show.
There's not a tomorrow?
They
Is it
usually
just
don't
Wednesday?
do Tuesdays.
Just Monday and Wednesday?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sunday, Monday, Wednesday.
Well, then Wednesday, check that out because you will not be disappointed. It's an American classic, withstands the test of time every time, and you'll be able to reference carrying dirt out of your pocket forever. It's always fun. So yeah, that's what's coming out in theaters this week. And now we need to talk a little bit about the movie that's on the board behind us. We need to talk a little bit about Rambo: First Blood.
Last Blood.
Last
But
Blood.
we can definitely talk about First Blood.
I
should
think-
have
I think
a
we do.
Rambo episode where we
think
just
we
talk
need to-
about Rambo.
I think we do need to talk a little bit about Rambo first.
All he wanted was something to eat.
That's true. They drew first blood, man. They did it. They drew blood. The thing about First Blood, and the the reviews coming out for Last Blood, everybody's like,
The creator of Rambo, David Morrell, didn't like Last Blood, blah, blah, blah.
you know what? He has pretty much hated every Rambo movie past First Blood, and he didn't really like First Blood.
I was about to say, because it didn't end the same.
Because Rambo kills himself in the novel. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm not meant for this world, Captain. Lieutenant, they're all dead, man. It's just me. When he kills himself in the post
Also,
office.
he never gets a first name in the book.
It's just Rambo.
Just Rambo. He doesn't get John Rambo.
So
He's trained to kill.
Everybody that's trying to use this whole and this is kind of where I'm going at the beginning of the show, where I'm talking about these people that are reviewing movies that have no idea what movies, like the context of movies. They're going, well, David Morrell said it was garbage, therefore the internet is now saying it's garbage, so I'm going to find other reasons to support this claim that it's garbage, even though I haven't seen it or seen any historical context to make this movie.
Stephen King hates The Shining, but you know what? Everyone loves it.
George
Lucas hated Star Wars, so he ruined it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everyone loved up until that point.
But this movie, Last Blood, I'm going to go out and say that I think the Grip and I have a little bit of a different opinion about this movie, because I'm going to guess that you freaking loved it.
I wouldn't go that far, but I was happy with it.
So I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as bad as all the reviews came. There was definitely some things that I would have changed.
Yeah.
There was some writing that I felt was missed, like some missed opportunities to actually, everybody's like, oh, this movie's political. The other Rambos were never this political. I'm like, motherfucker, you ever watch a Rambo movie?
What Rambo movies did you watch?
This was the least political of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's because they actually said it out loud in this one, in one like little monologue at the end of the movie. Everyone's like, oh, it was pointed out to me, put in my face, point blank. I can't believe it. Whereas the other movies, it's like, have this, think on it.
Think about it.
Think about it.
So
let that sit in.
Before I go into this review of Rambo, Last Blood, I want to talk about something that after I left this theater, I was thinking a lot, as I tend to do, and I was like, there's a soapbox here that I should be standing on. And as the Grip rolls his eyes and like prepares to like lean back and be quiet for about 4 minutes, but chime in whenever. So everyone's like, well, this is just a Taken remake, blah, 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 and it's about a white guy killing Mexicans in a time where blah, 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 and
really?
Trump's wall. Dude, you should read these reviews. People are losing their minds, and they're like, oh, like we need a white man killing Mexicans, blah.
Oh, he's John Rambo, and he's at home, and war follows him wherever he goes, and he can't help it, and that's in the news, and it's close to his home, and what's wrong with you people?
So here's kind of what I started thinking about.
The last movie was Rambo taking out evil Thai.
It's Burmese
child. Yeah. All right. South Asian child rapist guys.
And I'm glad you mentioned this, because
Rambo 3 was him taking out pre-Taliban guys that later became Taliban, and also Russians.
Mm-hmm. And so with those, I'm glad you illustrated that point, because I think
Rambo
now
goes where the conflict is, man.
The conflict finds Rambo. But I think one of the problems is not with this movie. Rambo Last Blood is basically a paint-by-numbers action movie that fills the gaps as a la Taken, a la Commando, which is really just like any of these, is just like Taken. Taken borrowed every page out of Commando, or Death Wish, which they all borrowed from. And, there's really nothing different about a revenge fantasy. Like, revenge movies have been revenge movies since movies were movies. Like, the formula hasn't changed, but the audience has changed. We as an audience are some of the pickiest sons of bitches on the and unpleasable. Just like Dave Chappelle said in his recent comedy bit on Netflix, where he's like, one of the reasons I don't do this anymore is because y'all are the worst audience in history. Like, because you can't do or say anything without somebody trying to put you in jail for it and ruining your life just because you have an opinion. And so with Rambo Last Blood, I think the problem is not with this movie being good or bad. It's fine. It's fine. There's some really amazing deaths in this.
Oh,
but
the practical effects are so
there's
good.
some really good. There's some really bad green screen driving scenes.
Okay, so that was something I noticed too. But at the same time, they show the car driving in the same area that the green screen driving's in.
No.
And so what I'm trying to figure out is...
It was just a Google car. They were just filming.
Well, were the actors in the Ukraine and Bulgaria where it was all filmed, and so they green screened them in, or was the way the directing was done? Because the directing is kind of different.
It is
in this movie.
There's
It's-
two styles. Because Sylvester Stallone didn't direct this one like he did the last one.
But
the last one's pretty good.
The special effects and the directing are all done like budget horror, but the story's done like Rambo.
Right. And there's not a whole lot of story.
I wonder if maybe that was just part of the cinematographer and director's choice, and it's not actually green screen. It just looks so good that
I can see green screen. Like there's a halo effect around.
Yeah,
the skin.
but there were other times where the hair fit in perfect, and you couldn't tell. So, but the background still looked just the same.
I think it was.
Good.
I think it was just pickups. They just didn't have time to go on location. But so
it doesn't matter. It's an action movie.
What I was getting at is, I think the audience is now kind of. They put too much of their own worldview and their own thoughts and perceptions of the world into something that's supposed to suspend our disbelief and bring us to a fantasy world where we can have, fun escapism in this narrative world that is built that is not our real world, and there's always going to be bad guys, just like Rambo says in the beginning of the movie. He's like, dude, people suck, and you don't know how dark the hearts of men can get. And there's always going to be a bad guy, whether in the 80s it's Russia or now it's Russia or the Taliban or whoever it is, or next door. I grew up, and my next door neighbor, who was a youth pastor, butchered his wife into 9 pieces and buried her in the backyard, and they dug her up 4 years later, and I was there to see it. Like that shit
real life burbs.
Real life burbs. Why do you think I like that movie so much? But
that would make me not like that.
But that stuff is real, okay? And real things happen. And when we ignore real things, we're idiots. And when we get mad when somebody says, well, let's try and make this movie in a time that makes sense. Like, we can't send Rambo to space to fight aliens. That'd just be a little weird. It'd be fun. It'd be cool. And I think it would have made a lot more money, because that's what audiences want.
Rambo in space.
Audiences want things that they can't relate to, that don't affect our real world. And I think that's one of the reasons that Marvel is doing so well. It's like, you can't critique, Carol Danvers flying into space and blasting a slave ship in space. Like, you can't do it, because you're not like, well, my friend is a Vorklakian and he takes offense at you saying that Vorklakians are slave traders. And it's like, no one has that. But guess what? You set this movie at the border, and then you have Mexican sex traffickers in it, which are a real thing. It's a thing. It happens all the time. There's Canadian sex traffickers, American sex traffickers, Mexican sex traffickers. It's just, that's part of our world, and it sucks. It's like, but it's so close to home. It's so close to home. You got Mexican friends. You got Mexican neighbors. They share a border with us. We love nachos and tacos.
That's Tex-Mex, my guy.
But I'm talking about how stupid the audience is, of not being able to retranslate. Because guess what? Taken was, what were they, like Eastern European
and Middle Eastern guys.
And it's it's far enough away to where we can not put a lot of stock into it. But now it's like, everybody's angry at Trump because the wall and blah blah blah, and that's relevant in the news. And this movie is. And these are the reviews I'm reading. They're like, oh, this is just a metaphor for MAGA hat wearing gun lovers. And it's like, okay, I mean,
they missed the entire point of the movie.
Right. It's Rambo, dude. He's an ex-military. Of course he's going to have guns. It's like, I'm not a gun supporter. Dude, I'm not. But I didn't take offense at this movie because it's fucking freaking Rambo.
If you were John Rambo and you came home and you had to walk everywhere because no one would give a veteran a ride because they're a bunch of hippie trash, and then you're like, oh, I just want something to eat, and they're like, oh, let me drive you all the way out of town. Walk through the rainforest and suck it, you veteran guy that fought in this war and are traumatized forever. No food for you, and then you have to fight them because they drew first blood, and then you come home and everyone's a big turd to you, and they stick you in like military prison where you gotta smack rocks with hammers and then go like shoot Russians with bows and arrows while they have Hind helicopters and everything. You know what? You might keep like a shotgun around too, because apparently people are not nice to you for no good reason, and all you wanted was something to eat.
Yeah, and some of these reviews I'm reading, they're like, well, I guess Rambo's a cowboy now. I was like, well, did you not watch any of the Rambo movies?
Did you see how the last one ended? He went home.
He went to his parents, like who were dead. He went to the ranch that it was in his inherited. So yeah, for the next 10 years, after going and killing a bunch of like bad guys in Burma, he's like, dude, I just want to go ride a horse or something. I want to get away from people.
Rambo gets to be a human being too. He had a history and a past and a family before the events of First Blood, before he was shipped to Vietnam and had to like be Rambo.
And so that's kind of my beef with this movie is, you know, the movie's not terrible, but it was like, oh, this just sucks. It's just bad. Blah. And it's like, no, we suck. Like the world sucks. And if you can't make peace with the fact that this is a film that is set in a shitty world about some shitty situations with a guy that has gone through shitty situation after shitty situation, I think the problem is this movie hit a little too close to home, and
like maybe that was one of the points of the film.
And so I think that the problem's not with the film, the problem's with the audience.
No,
and I feel like that's happening more and more and more. That's why we're getting all these freaking dumpster fire Marvel movies that everybody loves. It's like no one loves these movies. It's just we go because they're just so stupid that we don't care, and it doesn't affect us, and it doesn't make us feel, and it doesn't make us question, it doesn't make us think, it doesn't make us address anything. We're just like, I like you, I want to be an Iron Man.
You know what? I just thought about something that would be dope.
What?
You ever watch Law and Order SVU? You know my dog?
Sometimes.
Like my boy Elliot Stabler.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what if Rambo and Elliot Stabler like teamed up to take down like these bad guys? Because this movie was like an SVU episode, but like everything gets solved now. There's a lot of law and order. Yeah, there's a bunch of order and like little to no law involvement. Like Rambo is the law.
Now you're thinking Judge Dredd.
He is Judge Dredd.
I mean, I am the law.
Stallone is Dredd, man.
It's true.
But
well, here's the thing. Rambo was fun. There was some really cool, like, just, dude, killing people. Like, there was some killing of some people. Yes. I was like, when he made those magnesium shotgun shells, yes. I was like, oh, in the theater, like, by myself with this one guy. I'm just like, oh, and the other guy was like, oh, and yeah, it was like a 60-year-old man in there, and we were both just like, goo! And that one with the two like shanks like took a big like V chunk out of that dude's face, and it's like, oh, your face, bro. Yeah. He's like, blah!
And it's all practical effects, dude. And it's super good. And
dude,
yeah,
people getting like pitchforked in the stomach
or having their collarbone ripped out.
It's like, how you like this clavicle? Pow! And he's like, oh, I'll take you to the bad guy boss. And
dude, see, it was sick.
There was a lot of, but overall, here's another problem with action movies. I think we're getting so used to these long form narratives, a la what happened, what Lost gave us with the Netflix thing and the binge watching, and our content is now 10, 11, 12, 25, 60 hours long, where we're getting all of this stuff. And, in an action movie, you're getting an hour and 40 minutes. You got to propel the hell through this story.
Well, and it did a good job. It only was slow where it needed to be. And when it ramped up, and it went like 120 to the end of the movie.
And it was what it was supposed to be. And so, yeah, it's not an Oscar film. It's not even a Grammy or Emmy film. It's not even an award. Definitely. Like maybe not even MTV's People's Choice. Like, but it's fun. and it's a Rambo movie. It's not as good as the last one, but
nothing can be as good as the last Rambo
last one was
because
pretty damn good.
Rambo, the movie, is so
It's
good,
pretty damn good.
And did you see that they put the scene with the
Blasting the
50 cal
dude.
just turning the dude into
thumbs
paste?
up.
Yeah.
But and then they did a nice
the
little
best.
like closing montage of all the different clips from all the different Rambo movies to kind of go, look, hey, we did kind of try to think of the story of this guy. And so I don't understand what people's deal is. It's like if you're gonna give Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you're gonna bash Rambo, then you need to have your brain checked because it melted somewhere along the way.
This movie was semi thought provoking, and I hate it.
Yeah, you're like,
I don't think that we should address guns or sex trafficking or anything that's like not PC.
What do you
want to
bet? What do you want to bet if this was like the sequel to Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel? Everyone would be like, oh yeah, bravery.
yeah, slap those bad guys' dicks off. And
He did. Rambo did to at least like two guys.
he took a hammer to this dude's dick. That he like kicked in this whorehouse that he thought his daughter-ish or whatever it was in, and just straight up old boy style with a hammer, like, why are you fucking this teenager? Blow! And just like knocked that dude's nutsack to the ground.
Dude,
and,
I hate scenes like that in movies, but Rambo did everything so right in this. He just like walked in, he was like, oh yeah, I'm here for like a little girl or whatever.
It's like,
and the guy's
don't
like,
dare stop, and blow!
yeah, dude. Oh man, everything was sick. Also, I like Johnny's comment is like they should have done an alternate take where Brian Dennehy just fed him. He's like, oh, the diner's this way.
Yeah, come on in.
Roll
Come on in.
credits.
We got eggs. So here's long review short. It's not an amazing movie. It's not, but in fact, it does exactly the job it set out to do. If you're gonna sit and compare it to Taken, then you obviously haven't seen enough revenge movies. Like, go watch. Everyone's like, "That's just a rip off Taken." You know what? Go watch Point Blank with Lee Marvin, or go watch Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Watch
or
anything with Lee Marvin.
or Death Wish, like all of these movies, like, it's not a new formula, guys. Like, if you go sit down in a revenge movie and expect to like go, I have never seen anything like this in my life, then you're a fool.
I like this like Blumhouse style thing that a lot of these action movies are taking on, like
Where it's like
Rambo.
rated R.
Yeah, and
hard.
the Death Wish remake, where it's practical horror effects put to really good
To an
use
action
in an
film.
action movie.
Yeah, that's something that they didn't do in the 80s and 90s, and even in the early 2000s.
What was the one where that guy got the chip put in him? It was a Blumhouse film.
It was like Upgrade.
Yeah.
That movie was good.
So it was that same way, and these action movies now, these revenge movies, are starting to be done like that with like the horror studio practical effects.
Yeah, it was called Upgrade. Came out in 2018. We saw it in the theater. It was on limited release. Highly recommend this movie. Only an hour and 40 minutes. Really, really good movie. And again, practical, extreme violence in an action setting. It's not a horror movie, but it is gory to a almost horrific level.
But there's like a purpose to it that's not fear for the audience.
Right.
It's fear for the characters that the good guys after, and it's I think that in the new Death Wish and this Rambo has really made them like have that, I don't know, like factor. You're like, oh, what? Oh, get him.
Yeah, dude.
Like kind of a thing. Because like in the last in Rambo, where he just like comes up in the like out of the rain behind that guy and like, just murks that dude. It's sick.
Yeah. So I mean, here we go again.
I had fun at this movie.
Yeah. Final words. We both had fun. We saw it independently. You're not going to walk out of there like wanting to sit down with a hot tea and read Sartre or whatever. It's not that kind of movie. And if you're looking for a Marvel movie, it's not a Marvel movie either. But if you're looking for a Marvel movie, then you're also an idiot.
Unless you want Punisher. In which case, you watched Warzone, and you're like, yeah, this is
Dude,
what I need.
or the Netflix
this is
Punisher's
more it.
actually pretty good.
Not as good as Warzone.
No, not as good as Warzone, but for a long-form Netflix series of all the other garbage Marvel Netflix series that have happened, I'd say Punisher was the better of the four that the better of the four. There was Iron Fist and Luke Cage, and then the Jessica Jones, and Punisher. That was the better one.
You know what? I just realized something. And
Daredevil.
In all
Five.
the Rambo movies, it starts out with him like defending himself, and then the second one is him defending his allies, and then the third one is him defending his country, and then the fourth one was him defending the
his
innocent.
family. Yeah, the
and
innocent.
then this one was him defending his home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice like catch there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's look at that. Yeah. 2019 Driving Speakerbox. Check them out. So that's what we thought about Ramboni. If you're a fan, check it out. If you're bored, I might want to pass on it, or if you just want to see some people turn to mulch, then check it out, because that's what it is. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Anyway, all right. Well, let's do the top 10 movies in America. We need to round it out because it is about time for us to end this puppy. So what we're going to do, like we do every week, we're going to give you the top 10 movies in America from last weekend, their box office reports from September 20th through 22nd, 2019. These are top 10 domestic numbers, which means just here in the U.S., because that's what the studios care most about. And there we go. Dude, Shawshank Redemption got number 24. That's pretty cool because it's only in 669 theaters nationwide. So it's right here in Northwest Arkansas if you want to check that out per what we were talking about earlier.
25th anniversary, and it's being a Fathom event, TCM presentation.
Rarely does that make in the top 40. Even.
Well, you know that it has some fun featurette or some comments from Ben Minkowitz either before and or after the movie.
He weirds me out.
Right.
His last name's Minkowitz.
Is it because of that video where he just screams about jerking off? Have you seen that?
I've not, but that's not going to instill any comfort in me about how weird that guy is.
He's no Robert. Oh, what was the name of the guy that was the big TCM guy? He passed away a couple years ago.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do know who you're talking about. But let's go through number 10 to number 1. Here we go. Number 10. We've got Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Probably the last week it's going to be in theaters from Universal, bringing in $1.4 million, bringing up the number 10 spot. And 8 weeks out, $200 million budget has brought it in $170.6 million.
But its theater count went up.
It did. It came up in another 340 theaters. They're trying to get another last ride. One more job. We got to get one more run in the theaters before we lose any more money on this film. One last job.
Pretty sure it made all of its money back internationally.
Oh, dude, it made all the money internationally. Number 9, Overcomer, still out there from Affirmation Films in its 5th weekend release. $1.5 million in its 5th weekend. $5 million budget, bringing in $31.5 million. Number 8, Angel Has Fallen from Lionsgate, bringing in $2.4 million in its 5th weekend release. $40 million budget, brought in $64.6 million at the box office.
Another fun action movie.
Yeah. If you like...
you didn't watch it. I watched it.
I didn't, but I was about to make a dig on. Never mind, because Angel is whatever. Stupid movie. Number 7, Good Boys from Universal, bringing in 2.5. Somehow still out in theaters. 6 weeks in release. $20 million budget, brought in $77.3 million at the box office. Number 6, for 10 freaking weekends, Get It Out of Here. Get It Out of Here. Lion King. We are done with you, Buena Vista, but it still made another $2.6 million at the box office. $260 million budget. $531.6 million total domestic gross. We're probably going to get a sequel. Like, we're probably just going to get it. And they're going to go, oh, yeah, we're going to remake The Lion King again. and they're going to want another $1 billion out of it. And you go, well, I gotta see. I just gotta see it for myself. I just gotta. Wait, why can't you just wait till it's just pirate it like everybody else? Like, why do you have to see it in theaters? Anyway, number 5, Hustlers from STX bringing in $16.8 million in its second weekend release. $20 million budget has brought in $62.3 million. So doing very, very
way
well
more successful than I would have thought that movie would be.
Absolutely.
I guess J-Lo still has audience pull.
J-Lo has pull. It's J-Lo, dude. Number 4, It Chapter 2 from Warner Brothers, bringing in $17 million at the box office. Third weekend release brought in $178 million. That's $100 million over budget. Doing very well.
Before it moves too far away, I just want to point out how our resident B-boy is way hot for the Fly Girl.
He's hot for Fly Girls, period.
Yeah, but like J-Lo's like the Fly Girl.
Well, yeah, because she was in Living Color.
Yeah.
She was the quintessential Fly Girl.
That's what I'm saying. In Living Color.
You can do what you wanna do.
In Living Color.
Everybody's here to fit to be fine. Everybody's here to fit to be fine. What's yours is yours and what's yours is mine. Yeah, all right, anyway. I really like
Living Color.
Oh, geez. All right, number 3. Rambo, Last Blood from Lionsgate, bringing $18.8 million in its opening weekend. $50 million budget, not a huge budget, only bringing in 18.8 here. I don't think it's going to get much of a international release, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to do any better next week. I think it'll probably stay a little steady. Reviews have been unfriendly to it, so that never hurts or never helps. So we will see. Number 2, Ad Astra from Fox, bringing in $19 million in its opening week. Science fiction. We talked about it a little bit last week with Brad Pitt. And the number 1 movie in America. What was the number 1 movie in America? Greg?
The number 1 movie in America was an extended episode of Downton Abbey.
An episode of a TV show is the number 1 movie in America from Fox, bringing in $31 million in its opening weekend.
Something about you put Maggie Smith in a movie and put it in the theater and people watch it. Like what was that one about the hotel with all the old British ladies?
That was a seed. There was 2 of those.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. It was successful enough to have a sequel.
There was a Friends special that was in our theaters too.
There was. That was a Fathom event. Friends 30th or 25th anniversary.
Couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Downton Abbey taking the number 1 spot. How weird is that?
I need to actually straight up watch Downton Abbey and start reviewing that on the show.
I think we'll use our green screen over here. We'll bring you in and we'll do the Grips rundown of Downton Abbey episodes.
Well, apparently,
let's do it.
There it is.
Yeah, Grand Marigold Hotel.
Yeah.
But there you go. That was your box office report. Top 10 movies in America. If you are a fan of Fantasy Movie League, you can go in there and use this data for your own gain. Of course, we have our own league, the Drive-In Speakerbox. Just search for it over on Fantasy Movie League. And, try and beat our resident pro, Dina. And that's not possible. So best of luck.
When you play against her, it'll make you say FML.
Yeah. Fantasy Movie League. FML. But all right, man. Well, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to probably see Ad Astra if I can get a chance to over the next week. I would love to see that Mickey movie or the other film that we talked about, but we will see. Anything that you've got on the horizon? It's Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue weekend this weekend here in Northwest Arkansas, so I know you're going to be a little bit busy riding your fat hog.
See, everyone says that. You know what? I actually I ride my bike because it's so much easier to get around in traffic.
Because you want to be like...
I like how you're acting like you ain't got a motorcycle.
Yeah, but it's broken. I don't. Otherwise, I'd be like, because I don't have a.
Yeah,
my bike
was.
was.
My bike.
Oh yeah, you don't have one anymore. You got rid of it.
I got rid of the 600, but I kind of want a cruiser now. But anyway.
Oh yeah, get a cruiser.
So y'all can be like, boys.
Yeah. Well, mine was broke until Saturday.
What was wrong with it?
It was broke.
It's now Motorcycle Talk, the podcast. We're two dudes that love bikes with a producer that also loves bikes. We're drinking brews, we're talking blues, and it's Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue Week right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, dudes.
Yeah, let's do
that's the
that.
new podcast. Brought to you by Classic Rock, dude. Yeah, keep that motor running.
I like classic rock.
Yeah, well, so do I. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. That's our music. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. I'm the Boom Operator.
On the grip.